and it is planned that effective January 2024, Uganda's oil marketing companies will be directly supplied by Uganda National Oil Company, which will improve security of supply and will result in very competitive pump prices.
This sounds a good idea in the ears of many Ugandans, as long as it can solve the perennial problem of high fuel prices. But to some business analysts, the move is a grave mistake because government's record when it comes to doing business is miserable.
That is a source of corruption. I know that I'm saying the potential, because we have known how government has been operating.
Nankabirwa's argument in advancing the policy change of government is premised on the fact that the Kenyan government favors their own companies.
The open tender system in Kenya, where at times Kenya chooses to allocate products destined to Uganda to their own local companies. So we want to come out of this.
Even when government is making a policy shift to start managing business it had privatized decades ago under the privatization policy, Capt Mukula, the director of Mahathi Infra, a company that runs a private freight transporting company based in Kawuku on the shores of Lake Victoria, says this policy shift will cripple the oil sector.
There will only be one supplier to UNOC, and that is Vitol. And the oil marketing companies, Shell, Total, and us, will buy from UNOC. This, in a way, is a shift, and it definitely creates a monopoly. And when you create a monopoly in the supply chain, by introducing only Vitol as the only supplier to UNOC, what will happen is that we are entering a command economy. The oil sector is a cost pusher. And if you don't amend and allow open market systems to play and to create demand and supply, then we're going to create a problem.
Capt Mukula is a vice chairperson of the ruling NRM in eastern Uganda. However, some members of parliament are in agreement with the Minister Nankabirwa.
It would help us to bring in competition and the prices will even drop. The moment they hear that the government of Uganda is going to take action to import fuel, for them to sell, they will drop the prices. That is the only way we can help the country.
These companies operate what we would term as an oligopolistic market structure, where we have elements of collusion and price fixing, either by the biggest companies or collectively together as companies.
I think in my own advice, I would think that either you create the way Kenya has done, to have 2 or 3 players in the market, giving Kenya what you call a cheaper supply line, meaning that the best suppliers would give you a better value.
Recently, government took over the ginger oil reserves to be managed by the Uganda National Oil Company.
UNOC has the capacity of about 50% that we hold, which is 30 million liters. Mahathi has 70 million liters reserve tanks in the country. 2, we also have a much cheaper supply line because we're using a logistical arrangement using the barges, which reduces the cost of transport by 50%. It's only fair that that capacity that we have is optimally utilized by the country. Well, we think that we should have competed. We have invested almost $270 million in the infrastructure. Currently,
the prices of petrol range between 5,000 and 5,500 shillings. Mukula, however, says that fuel prices in Uganda are lower than the prices in Kenya. The increasing fuel prices continue to be blamed on global fuel prices, coupled with the ongoing wars between Russia and Ukraine, and of recent Israel and Palestinian conflict, among others.
Pricing of fuel is not determined by Uganda. We are end receivers of oil from the OPEC producing countries.
Nankabirwa gave January next year to implement a new policy, but whether the timeline are realistic, only time will tell.
That the law I am bringing, which is going to be a bill amending the Petroleum Supply Act of 2003, which Cabinet has passed this Monday.
So my view is that there has to be a rethink. And I hope that Parliament invites us for a discussion, and we're also open to discussing with the President to see how best we can mitigate the cost of pricing of fuel in the country.
Jingo Francis, NTV.